Are you stuck in a financial maze and don't know how to get out? Feeling like you're running on a treadmill and chained to a never-ending cycle of bills, debts, and financial stress. You have that sinking feeling in your gut, knowing you're stuck, but yearning to break free. Oh, honey, I know the pain, and I'm here to tell you it ends now. Together, we'll unlock the 6 roadblocks holding you captive, and by the end of this story, you'll hold the keys to free yourself. Living paycheck to paycheck was yesterday's news. Today, we are breaking free. No more tears over bills, no more sleepless nights. We are taking control. Let's go into a world where your money works for you. Sophia had it all, or so it seemed. A top-tier job in a bustling city, a closet full of designer outfits, a social circle that could rival any influencer. On the surface, she was the epitome of success, but behind the curtain of her seemingly perfect life was a woman drowning in financial chaos. She was in the money trap. Every month, the routine was the same. Her paycheck would hit her account, and for a brief moment, she'll feel a rush of relief. But then, like clockwork, the bills would start flooding in. Rent, utilities, credit card statements. They came in a big, huge wave, washing away the comfort of her paycheck had just briefly provided. Her friends saw her as the go-to gal for swanky brunches and shopping sprees, oblivious to the fact that Sophia was often left scanning her budget, wondering where she could pinch pennies. Each swipe of her credit card felt like a mini betrayal to herself. But how could she say no? Saying no would admitting that despite having a very good job and what appeared to be a fabulous life, she really was failing in a way that was unforgivable. She was living paycheck to paycheck. Sophia often found herself lying awake at night, her mind racing through financial calculations. The numbers swirled in her head, but they never quite added up to freedom. Sophia longed for breathing room with her money. She just wanted to breathe. She just wanted to have the ability to make choices based on what she desired, not on what she can afford. But the weight of her financial reality left her feeling trapped, like a bird in a cage. It was one of these sleepless nights that Sophia decided she couldn't go on like this. The emotional toll was just too high, and the yearning for change had become a constant ache in her chest. Desperate for change, Sophia yelled, "Why am I living like this?" Sophia didn't realize just asking the question activated her brain to find the answers. The following day, she was talking with a friend about her situation. The friend suggested she read How to Use GratiPOWER to Escape the Money Trap. Something about the words struck a chord deep within her. Escape the money trap? Sophia felt an overwhelming sense of purpose watch over her. It was a feeling that she hadn't felt in a long time, a feeling that perhaps, just perhaps, she could rewrite her financial story. Sophia decided at that moment she would read the guide. And so with newfound determination and a guide full of wisdom, Sophia took the first step on her journey to financial freedom. She didn't know it then, but her life was about to change in ways she could never imagine. Sophia has always considered herself a doer, a woman that took the life by the horns and made things happen. But as she sat on her, albeit budget-breaking sofa that weekend with the guide in her hand, she was hit by the reality of her situation. It was a wake-up call louder than an alarm clock on a Monday morning, and we know how loud that can be. And Sugar Plum, let me tell you, it was very loud. The guide wasn't just a collection of tips. It was a mirror reflecting her life choices, financial habits, and even her fears. It articulated everything Sophia had felt, but couldn't put into words. Living paycheck to paycheck is like running on a treadmill, the guide said. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere? Those words hit Sophia like a ton of bricks. Was she really running in place while life passed her by? Each sentence she read felt like an urgent whisper, encouraging her to break the cycle. She started visualizing her life without the constant dread of bills, debts, and that awful end-of-the-month financial crunch. What would it be like to walk in a store and buy something she loved without experiencing buyer's remorse, or to book a vacation without the guilt of thinking this money could be better spent? The guide was more than just a wake-up call. It stirred something deep within her. Sophia wasn't naive. She knew the road ahead would be full of challenges, but the guide had given her something invaluable, a starting point, a glimmer of hope. The best part was that the guide broke it down into actionable steps. Sophia had never been a numbers person. In fact, she often joked that she chose a career path just to avoid dealing with math, spreadsheets, and calculators. But as she sat down with her notepad, brimming with enthusiasm, a newfound sense of purpose, she was ready to face her financial numbers head on. Budgeting, she mumbled to herself. How hard could it be? The guide laid it out so clearly and said, you have to know where your money is going. Create a budget and find areas to cut back. Sophia started with the basics. She listed her income and then jotted down every single expense: rent, utilities, groceries. Oh, and let's not forget those impulse buys that often caught her off guard. What she saw shocked her. There were so many insignificant purchases that, when added up, consumed a big chunk of her paycheck. Sophia felt a sense of shame, but also sparked a revelation. These are my money leaks, she realized. These are the small cracks that have been draining my financial being. Sophia was no damsel in distress, but she was now a budgeting babe in the making. She characterized her expenses into needs and wants. And let me tell you, the wants column was eye-opening. It was time for a financial detox. Sophia went on a subscription purge, saying adios to those monthly subscriptions she did not use, don't need, or could possibly use the free version. She even revisited her grocery list and found ways to eat well without dining like a queen every night. Budgeting is all about smart choices, she thought, echoing the wisdom from the guide. And just like that, with a few tweaks and cuts, Sophia's budget started to look less like a maze and more like a roadmap to financial freedom. She felt empowered, like a woman who had just found the missing piece to her life's puzzle. Sophia was on a roll, honey, and after tackling her budget, she was ready to conquer the next financial frontier: savings. Now the guide had laid out some solid advice that struck her like a bolt of lightning. Automation is your new BFF, the guide said. Sophia was skeptical, but also intrigued. Sophia sat down with her laptop, her fingers hovering over the keyboard as she logged into her bank account. For years, her savings account had been more of a concept than an actual stash of money. Oh, sure, she'll transfer some cash over occasionally, but let's be real, it always found its way back into her checking account, sooner or later, ready to be spent. This time, things would be different, she said. Sophia set up an automatic transfer, dedicating a small yet significant portion of her paycheck to go directly into her savings account. Paying yourself first, she muttered, echoing the guide's wisdom. It worked like a charm. At first, Sophia barely noticed the missing amount, but as weeks turned into months, she saw her savings accounts grow from a pitiful puddle into a respectable pool. Every time she peeked at her balance, she felt a surge of pride. This wasn't just money. This was her future, her dreams, and her freedom, all accumulating and automating one transfer at a time. What Sophia loved most about automation was its simplicity. She didn't have to think about it, didn't have to make that monthly mental note to set aside money. Sophia knew that she had unlocked her superpower. Automation had turned her from a financial procrastinator into a proactive saver. Sophia was on fire with her budget on lock and her savings on autopilot. She was feeling like the queen of her financial kingdom. But that girl knew that building wealth wasn't just about stashing money in a savings account. The guide was clear. Let your money work for you. Consider high-yield savings account. Sophia was intrigued and ready to elevate her game. She started researching and Googled high-yield savings account. Sophia found an account offering a dazzling 3% interest rate. She did the math and realized that this small switch could net her hundreds of extra dollars each year. Without wasting any time, she transferred savings and watched her money started to work for her, compounding and growing like a beautiful blossom in the springtime. As weeks passed, Sophia will often check her accounts, not out of anxiety, but out of sheer wonder and excitement. Each uptick in her balance felt like a petal unfolding into a beautiful flower of her financial future. The wealth blossom was in full bloom, and Sophia couldn't be prouder. Sophia was soaring high on her financial journey. She had mastered budgeting, automated her savings, and even stepped into the world of high-yield savings accounts. But darling, she knew something was missing, a safety net for life's unpredictable moments. While going through the guide, Sophia came across a section talked about emergencies. You can't prevent them from showing up, but you can certainly be prepared when they arrive, the guide advised. Having an emergency fund as a cushion for life's unexpected twists and turns is about having something to fall back on when life throws you a curveball, the guide said. And oh, did that resonate with Sophia. Sophia had always heard the saying, when it rains, it pours. But she never thought about dancing in the rain instead of getting drenched. That's exactly what an emergency fund would allow her to do. It was like having an umbrella for those financial storms that nobody can predict. She started small, dedicating a portion of her automated savings into a separate emergency fund account. Sophia aimed to save enough to cover at least 1 month of worth of expenses. She started small, dedicating a portion of her automated savings into a separate emergency fund account. Sophia aimed to save enough to cover at least 1 month worth of expenses initially, and her ultimate goal was to stash away enough for 6 months worth of living expenses. It was a daunting task, but Sophia was up for the challenge. The first time she had to dip into her emergency fund for an unexpected car repair, Sophia felt grateful rather than stressed. She didn't have to scramble or make sacrifices or get a payday loan that she would never get out of. She was covered. With each passing day, Sophia's emergency fund grew, and so did her confidence. It wasn't just about having money in the bank, it was about having a peace of mind. And let me tell you, darling, that's priceless. Up until this point, Sophia had been soaring on her financial journey, but there was one lingering cloud on her horizon: credit card debt. It was an itch that wouldn't go away, the smudge on her otherwise sparkling financial picture. But our girl was ready for the battle, and this time she had a secret weapon. The guide that she was reading did not shy away from tackling this tough topic. It laid out various methods to tackle credit card debt. The guide referenced the avalanche, the snowball, and the ladder method. Each one had its own merits, but which one would Sophia choose? After some soul searching, Sophia decided to go with the avalanche method. It made sense for her logical mind to tackle the debt with the highest interest rate first and then work her way down. She arranged her debts and started attacking the highest interest rate card with determination like she never felt before. And darling, it worked. Each month, she saw her balance decrease and the burden began to lift. It was exhilarating, like reaching the peak of a mountain that she never thought she could climb. But Sophia didn't stop there. She combined the avalanche with the mini snowball method for her smaller debts. It was like a hybrid of getting quick wins while also being smart about interest rates. Sophia felt empowered as she made her final payment She let out a sigh of relief so deep it felt like her soul had been cleansed. Debt was no longer her master. She was now the queen of her financial destiny. Sophia was on a roll, darling. She had slain her credit card bill, built her emergency fund, and was riding high on the waves of financial stability. But there was one hurdle she couldn't ignore any longer: her sky-high housing costs. Sophia lived in a ritzy, super expensive apartment that ate up nearly half of her paycheck. Oh, it was super gorgeous, complete with a rooftop pool and state-of-the-art gym. But was it worth the financial strain? Sophia found herself pondering this as she read the guide's take on housing costs as a major roadblock to financial freedom. It sparked an idea. What if I get a roommate? Then she quickly ditched that idea. Nah. I enjoy living alone, she said. But then she had another idea. What if I downsize? What if I traded my luxury apartment for something more cozier and budget-friendly? Sophia was skeptical, but intrigued. After doing some homework, comparing rents, calculating potential savings, and yes, shedding some tears over possibly leaving her rooftop pool, Sophia made the leap. She found an adorable, budget-friendly apartment that still met her needs, but at a fraction of the cost. The first month in her new place, Sophia felt a freedom she had never experienced before. The money she saved on rent went straight into her banking account. It was like trading a short-term luxury for a long-term freedom, and it felt good. Sophia's decision wasn't just about saving money. It was about prioritizing her future over her present. She realized the path to financial freedom sometimes requires short-term sacrifices, but they are worth it. Another financial money trap, the guide said, is new cars. Sophia had always viewed cars as more than just a mode of transportation. Cars are a status symbol, she thought, a way to make a statement. And yes, her sleek luxury car did just that. Oh, it turned heads and struck envy in the hearts of onlookers. But Sweet Pea, what it also did was dig a financial hole that was becoming increasingly tough to climb out of. Her monthly payments, combined with insurance premiums, were a financial cocktail that left her head spinning. The guide had a section titled "The New Car Trap," and Sophia couldn't help but feel like it was speaking directly to her. The guide stated the harsh truth. A new car depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot, and it was like throwing money into a bottomless pit. Sophia knew it was time for a reality check. She sat down and crunched the numbers. What if she transitioned to a reliable pre-owned vehicle? The math was shocking. She could save thousands each year. It wasn't an easy decision, oh no, darling, but Sophia did it. She traded in for a gently used, still chic vehicle that was also reliable but was far more budget-friendly. The initial change of vehicle stung a little, like ripping off a Band-Aid, but the relief she felt afterwards was immeasurable. No more eye-watering, huge car payments. No more over-the-top insurance costs. Instead, Sophia found herself with extra money that she could transfer into her growing accounts. The switch wasn't just a financial win, it was a victory for her mindset. Sophia realized that sometimes the real luxury is financial peace of mind. Sophia had been making all the right moves. She slashed her debt, tackled her housing costs, and avoided the new car trap. The guide also had a section emphasizing investing wasn't just for Wall Street wizards. It was for anyone willing to play the long game. Sophia was both excited and terrified. Investing? Is this something I can do? She said. The world of stocks, bonds, ETFs were all new to Sophia, but the guide broke it down into bite-sized pieces. Start small, but start now, the guide advised. The secret sauce was compound interest, the ability for her money to make more money over time. Sophia did some research and consulted with some experts and even dabbled in a couple of investment apps designed for beginners. She started small, investing in low-cost index funds that tracked the market. Sophia was no day trader. She was an investor with a vision, and her eyes were set on the horizon. Each month, she funneled a small portion from her paycheck into an investment account. It was automated, just like her savings, making it easy to stay consistent. And darling, let me tell you, consistency was her golden ticket. As months turned into years, Sophia watched her investments grow, fueled by the magic of compound interest. By this point, Sophia had been through it all, the highs, the lows, the thrills, the spills of her financial journey. She had tamed her budget, built an emergency fund, eliminated debt, tackled housing costs, sidestepped the new car trap, and even ventured into the world of investing. That was a lot, but she did it. This was it, the moment when all her hard work, sacrifices, and tough decisions was worth it all. She was no longer living paycheck to paycheck, no longer weighed down by debts or having financial anxiety. Sophia had room to breathe, room to dream, and room to live life on her terms. Sophia had been through a roller coaster of financial ups and downs, but now she had arrived. Each decision was like a stepping stone to financial freedom. She can now take risks like starting her own business, or she can give back, enriching the lives of others. She had the freedom to invest in experiences, relationships, and the sheer joy of living. Sophia felt a wave of gratitude just wash over her. She now has the GratiPOWER and is free from the money trap. Now it's your turn, darling. Sophia's journey might be a story, but the steps she took toward financial freedom are as real as the dollars or cents in your bank account. Now it's your turn, Sugar Plum, to make some magic happen in your own life. So what are you waiting for? Your path to financial freedom is waiting for you, and you can do it. Start with one of the steps provided in the story. The most important thing is to just start and to take that first step, darling, and don't look back. Because the most fabulous version of you, the financial free you, is just around the corner. Darling, you don't want to miss out on all this fabulous. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and become a member of our squad. You being here with me right now fills my life with so much joy, and for that, my heart is bursting with gratitude, and I thank you so very much. Well, sweet pea, don't be the last to know. The next video got some piping hot tea. Go ahead and click here to watch the next video. Continue to sparkle with peace, love, and prosperity, and I will see you in the next video.